Hi everyone, and welcome to today's quick tutorial. I hope to guide you through the key study points in the GAD and FIPS paper. I'll be including page and paragraph numbers to help you focus your reading. You'll find this paper in e-reserves or additional resources, or simply just go to my tutorial website to access all journal articles. The link is displayed in here. Here's a full reference in APA style. You'll be asked questions about this paper. Your quiz assessment, assignment 1, up on Moodle is due soon, so read all 4 journal articles covered in theme 1 to be prepared to answer all questions on these papers. My previous students got distinctions. Let's explore the key points in prep for your quiz assessment. Right, what is this study about? Read paragraph 1 on page 389. The first statement, it says, psychological and neuropsychological assessment in South Africa currently faces various challenges. So this paragraph tells us why the study was done. There's a problem in South Africa. Many psychological tests are created in other countries and are not standardized for our population. So this makes tests unfair and inaccurate for local students. This implies test bias. So in this prelim study, the aim is to generate or initiate local norms for Setswana speaking students. Study the definition of standardization on page 390. Also use your textbook, which has a more detailed explanation. Learn it, understand it. Right, so the purpose of the study. See last paragraph on page 392. It says, we aimed to conduct a preliminary standardization of the Wisconsin's card sorting test, WCST for short, for Setswana speaking university students. So the authors wanted to test whether the WCST works well for Setswana speaking university students. They used a computer version of the test and translated the instructions to reduce human error. So it's meant to measure executive function. It is a norm reference test, which means that the scores are compared to a group average, not judged against a fixed standard like your exam paper, 50%. So, what is the WCST and what is a test? Start reading from page 390, paragraph 2 to page 391. So it says the WCST consists of 4 stimulus cards and 128 response cards. No 2 response cards are ever alike. So these sections explain what the WCST is. It's a neuropsychological test. It's a nonverbal test. It measures executive functioning. So this test asks people to sort cards based on different rules that keep changing. So it checks how well you can solve problems, switch strategies, and learn from feedback. And it has several subscores. These are number of categories completed, total number of errors, perseverative and non-perseverative errors, trials to complete the first category, and learning to learn. So this test measures how well the brain can adapt and problem solve, which are the key parts of executive functioning. Okay, so who were the participants? See paragraph 1 on page 393. It says 93 Setswana speaking university students were included in the study. So Setswana speaking medical students from the University of Limpopo Medusa campus participated. They were between ages 18 and 29, and none of them had neurological, psychiatric problems, neurological or psychiatric problems. Why is this important? Well, because this test is a neuropsychological test, the control group must be neurologically healthy. Okay, so this makes sure that the results are not affected by brain-related disorders. Okay, so how was this test done? Read middle of page 392 on top of to the top of page 393. Standardization of the administration procedures was achieved by translating Heaton et al.'s instructions to Setswana. So instructions were translated into Setswana. The test was done on a computer. using software developed in South Africa, so which helped reduce mistakes and made scoring more reliable. Okay, now, language was explicitly discussed in this paper, in that the instructions were translated into Setswana, which is fine, but because, of course, language barriers impact scores, but remember that culture goes beyond language and includes how people learn or respond to tasks and interpret instructions. So normally, culture may have a greater overall impact on performance for South Africans. So in general, when we test South Africans, we have to be mindful of culture bias in tests, even though it's not mentioned in this paper. Okay, so what were the key results? Read pages 394 to 395. It says regression analysis indicated that gender, age, and level of education had no influence on subjects' WCST subscores. They also found that internal consistency reliability was adequate, and the researchers found that most subscores showed no effect from age, gender, or education level, except for one subscale, trials to complete the first category, which was affected by age. So once they established the means and standard deviations, they calculated z-scores to show how far a person's score is from the group average, and they had to create 2 norm tables. But here's the problem. The data was not, it did not follow a normal distribution like a bell curve. So read page 396. It says, consequently, the norms cannot be interpreted according to the principles of a normal distribution. That means scores couldn't be interpreted using the usual bell curve. So this may have been due to the research design itself, that's what they say, or student performance. So these z-scores are not comparable across different samples. In other words, these norms cannot be used for other Tswana populations. Okay, so another problem. See the start of the discussion section, page 397. The sample may not represent a broader South African population because the sample came from medical students and from only one university. So the results might not represent all Setswana speaking students in South Africa. Also see page 397. It says subjects exclusively selected from Medunsa campus that may have affected the representativeness of the sample. The researcher's design could also play a role and may have generated non-normal distributions. So to sum up, the researchers are not sure if the unusual test results happened because of the way the study was done, or if these kinds of scores are typical for Setswana-speaking university students. So to find out, future studies should include a wider variety of students from all parts of South Africa, and this will help show if the test results were just unusual in the study or if they are always different in this group. Okay, so the final takeaway is that, see the bottom of page 397, the conclusion. It says this was only a prelim study. The authors recommend that a larger, more diverse group be tested in the future. It also says it is thus recommended that a full standardization of the WCST must be conducted for Setswana-speaking individuals. So, future studies should use a larger, more representative sample, not only with medical students. So it says a full standardization would imply a sample more representative in terms of age, educational level, and language. Because we know that all participants from one university, in other words, the medical campus, which means we cannot generalize the results to all Setswana-speaking adults in South Africa. And finally, Ideally, it would be nice to see other language groups participate in the future, which would help make the WCST a fair tool for assessing South African people from all backgrounds, by including more ages, education, and language groups. In other words, to conduct a full standardization with diverse samples. Okay, so the key points in the study is that the test is a non-norm referenced test. The sample consisted of neurologically healthy students. Scores showed no effect from age, gender, or education level. Findings also showed that the data was not normally distributed, which affected the interpretation. And the study recommends future research with a larger, more diverse sample. So, right, that's what the paper's all about. But lastly, what about culture? Right? Even though this was not explicitly studied, Foxtrot and Ruert highlight test bias. See page 391 towards the end of the page. The need to cater for South African cultural and linguistic backgrounds. Should we consider culture as a unique characteristic that would probably have the greatest effect on performance? What say you? Good luck for your assessment.